Greetings, my dear viewer. You're on the channel The Price of Cheating. The channel is for those who appreciate traditional family values and condemn adultery. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. Let me make this clear from the start. I don't need your apologies. When people get caught, regret is inevitable. I don't need your excuses, and I don't care if it was supposedly the only time you betrayed me. To me, that no longer matters. The only thing that matters is that you did it. You've destroyed our family. You deceived not only me but also our 4 children. You took away the childhood they deserved. You betrayed our parents, who dreamed of a life full of joy with their grandchildren. What did you ruin everything for? Honestly, damn you. As I see it now, you're just a liar, a cheater. But I went to see a lawyer, just as you suggested, and she confirmed your threats. Legally, things aren't in my favor. Even though you're the one who turned our lives upside down, it's me who will face the consequences for the next 7 years. I was stunned to realize that I'm the one who will be paying the price for it all. Rick, please, understand, I wasn't trying to threaten you. That's not what I wanted. I was just trying to figure out this situation we found ourselves in. Fine, call me a liar and a cheater if you want, but do you really believe our children should suffer because of my mistakes? I know their needs come first, but to you, it seems my pain is just a side effect. And stop calling me darling. You've lost that right. Just call me Rick. Why don't you, for irony's sake, repeat your proposal? That I should accept your infidelity so we can keep the marriage intact, and that I should pay alimony and support for the next 7 years. Don't pretend it wasn't a threat. I didn't handle things well yesterday, and I apologize, but it's hard to find the right words. This isn't about accusations. But Troy awakens something in me that I've never felt before. No, I don't love him, but I can't let him go. Not yet. I understand you think it's about what he gives me or whatever else you imagine. I get it. Sorry if my true self has been less than enough for you. But just so you know, we were together before marriage, and in 17 years and 4 kids, I've never heard a single word from you about dissatisfaction. This isn't about me. It's about you. I know, Rick, but let me try to explain a bit more, if you're willing. This should be interesting. I'm all ears for your story. He leaned back, mockingly waving his hand, inviting her to continue. So, over these 2 years, since this began, did I ever refuse you? Did I ever neglect anything about our family? Did I ever miss a dinner with you? Has anything in our life changed because I was seeing someone else? He couldn't point to a single moment, but that only fueled his anger. It was clear she didn't grasp just how deeply she'd betrayed him. Fine, then answer me this. If you kept up appearances so well, met my needs, and devoted yourself to our children, why did you confess now? Before, I at least had the comforting illusion of ignorance. Now you've taken even that away. I had to tell you, Rick. Someone close saw me in a situation that might have raised suspicions, and I didn't want you to hear it from someone else. I needed to tell you the truth. Oh, how noble of you. And who is this concerned friend who saw you with your friend? I'd like to know, since no one has said anything to me. I want to know who this true friend is. I can't tell you that. I just can't. Why not? You're not going to name your lover, so what's the difference? I won't tell you who it is because it doesn't matter, and it would only cause you more pain. I won't reveal my lover's name because I know you, and you'll want revenge. I can't risk the father of my children ending up in prison. They needed him, every drop of his biting wit, no less. Of course, you're the expert on all my life decisions, so why should I even be annoyed? Maybe you'll suggest I just relax and watch as you both enjoy my absence. Rick, enough with the sarcasm. This isn't charming or mature behavior. Oh, I'm the immature one? He shot back, his face darkening. You mean to say you haven't once taken a jab at me over the last 2 years, or missed a single opportunity to put me down? How many times have you let him sleep in my bed, drink my whiskey, fully aware I wouldn't be there? The slap came so swiftly he barely felt it at first. Stumbling back, he clenched his fists, ready to respond. But he held himself, just barely. Instead, he rubbed his cheek, flexing his jaw as if testing it. The slap stunned him, not just from the blow, but from how close he was to returning it. Rick realized he needed to leave, to create some distance. Kat's face mirrored his shock. Her hands covered her mouth, her eyes welling up with tears. Everything was falling apart. This wasn't what she had wanted from this conversation. Collecting herself, she whispered an apology, reaching out to touch him. But he pulled away. "Rick, please. I'm so sorry. Can't you forgive me? Believe it or not, he's never once crossed the threshold of our home, and we never humiliated you. I separate my life with you from everything else. When I'm with you, he doesn't matter." Rick's reply was icy. "Oh, so when you're with him, we, the kids and I, disappear too, right?" Her voice softened, almost inaudibly. "Yes, Rick, but it was never meant to hurt you or cause you pain. Nothing like that happened." "Right. I guess now's the time I should do a paternity test for the kids, yeah?" She moved to slap him again, but this time he caught her wrist, his voice dangerously low. "Don't even think about it." He paused, drawing a deep breath to keep his composure. "I'm barely holding it together, and after everything you've done to me, you've lost the right to be surprised by anything I ask." "Fine," she said quietly, "but we need to find a way through this. This third person has nothing to do with us." "This parasite?" His voice was full of contempt. "He isn't who you think he is, Rick. He's a good man." "Right. A decent man who chases after married women. Maybe I should get tested too. Who knows who else he's seeing? What else he might be spreading? If that's what you need, then do it. For the record, we've both been tested regularly, for your peace of mind." "Good to know," Rick replied bitterly. "I'll conduct my own tests, thank you. And by the way, you were the one who insisted on protection for years after our youngest was born, right up to my vasectomy. What was your plan if he made you happy? Was that supposed to be my problem?" Kat stared at him, speechless. His fury said more than any words she could muster. "Listen to me, Rick. You're going to take care of this child as if it were your own. If you refuse, I'll make sure you lose everything you hold dear. Got it?" Her words weighed heavily on Rick's shoulders, but he replied with weary determination. "Do you really think I'll accept that future? No. This won't end that way." Kat's voice cut through the silence, her impatience clear. "Can we just try to find a solution like adults?" she said sharply. Rick's response was bitter and sharp. "So you want to settle everything so you can keep seeing your lover while I pretend our marriage still exists? I've had enough, Kat." Standing up abruptly, he added, "I'm leaving before I say or do something I'll regret. If you need to reach me, contact me through my parents." Rick gathered his things, pausing only to finish his thought. "I'll be staying with them until I decide what to do next. I'll consider what you said, but right now, divorce seems like the only way out. Stop demanding more discussions. You've made your intentions abundantly clear." He moved back to his parents' house, feeling a strange but familiar sense of nostalgia. As their only child, he always had mixed feelings about returning home, and this visit was no exception. He stayed with them for nearly 3 weeks, feeling as if his life had been turned upside down. Rick told his parents everything, about the confrontation with Kat, the shattering of his illusions. His father was unfailingly supportive, refraining from giving advice but standing firmly by his side. His mother, however, took a different approach. "Ricky," she said, using the nickname she never abandoned, "it can't be as terrible as you're making it sound. You have 4 wonderful children who need their father. You and Kat can work this out. I know she still loves you, Ricky." Rick tried to explain his position to her. "Mom, do you even understand? She's seeing someone else and expects me to put up with it." But his mother was resolute. "Ricky, divorce is too drastic for a temporary problem. In a few months, this person will mean nothing to her. She'll remember the life you built together." Despite his attempts to explain, she continued to insist day after day, sometimes with tears, other times with rare disappointment. "You're breaking my heart, Ricky. We didn't raise you like this." Then she said words that hurt him the most. Though she apologized immediately, the effect lingered. "If you don't go back to Kat and try to make things work, I don't think I'll ever be able to forgive you." Rick knew how much his parents loved their grandchildren, but he noticed that his father often left the room whenever his mother started pleading with him. Alone, his father reaffirmed his support for Rick's decision, though he never did so in his mother's presence. In the end, Rick reluctantly decided that staying with Kat might be the only solution, limited as it seemed. Feeling trapped in a cage from which he could see freedom but couldn't reach it, he chose what seemed like the lesser of two tragic paths. When he returned home, he spoke to Kat in a firm voice. "I've decided to stay, but I'm doing it for the children. I don't want them growing up in a broken home. I know if I leave, you'll quickly find someone else, and I won't put our kids through that." He paused, then continued, "But understand this, I'll stay only until Amanda turns 18. After that, I'm gone. I'll move into the guest room, as I have no intention of sharing a bedroom with you." Kat's eyes flared with anger, and she stomped her foot in a surge of frustration. "No, Rick," she snapped. "You'll stay in our room. I've been seeing him for 2 years. Did you really not notice?" Rick looked at her steadily, not averting his gaze. He had long stopped seeking explanations or conclusions. This was the end of a path he had already accepted. "Let's clarify the situation. You're staying here. No exceptions. Think about the kids. How will they handle you leaving? As long as you're here, we keep up the appearance of a family. When Amanda turns 18 and the other kids are stable, if you still want to leave, that's your choice." For now, they shared the same bed. Kat could feel Rick's love and was convinced that if she gave things time to settle, everything would eventually fall into place. She decided not to push him away, choosing instead to act wisely and avoid doing anything that might hurt him or spark anger. The kids were thrilled to have their father back home, and for Rick, time spent with them brought even greater joy. Even during business trips, he called every day and brought back small tokens of affection. Now, seeing their happiness only reinforced his determination to keep the family together. The beginning wasn't easy. Kat stopped trying to convince Rick that everything was fine, yet she still craved his affection. However, Rick found it hard to fully reciprocate her feelings. He tried to behave normally, but it felt unnatural, and tension grew between them. Resentment surged in him every time Kat went out alone. Despite her constant reassurances that she was only meeting friends, he couldn't shake the feeling that every outing was a betrayal, a thought that gnawed at him. Kat did everything she could to reassure Rick, but nothing seemed to ease his worries. After a few tense weeks, she suggested they try counseling. She saw how he was struggling to adjust and thought counseling might help strengthen their relationship. Even the kids had begun to notice something was off. When she brought it up, Rick was taken aback. "Let me get this straight. You think we need counseling to help me come to terms with you seeing someone else? Seriously?" He laughed, the irony almost too much to bear, but his laughter quickly faded. He looked at her with a serious expression. "Actually, Kat, maybe it's not such a bad idea. Let's go." Rick agreed for several reasons, mainly to see how she would present her relationship with another man in front of a counselor as a way to strengthen their marriage. But he had one clear condition. "I'll pick the counselor. I don't want anyone pushing modern views on open relationships." Kat agreed, and to her surprise, felt a surge of hope, even looking forward to the start. Rick, on the other hand, just shook his head in response to her optimism. To her surprise, things began improving in their sessions. After only a few meetings, Rick appeared more relaxed at home, less tense, and even more attentive. The counselor noted their progress, giving them advice tailored specifically to them. Societal norms didn't matter. Only their own agreements on what was normal in their marriage were important. Having seen many similar cases, the counselor knew such situations rarely ended happily. After 10 sessions, he even considered publishing an article, believing it might help other couples. Gradually, Rick and Kat settled into a stable rhythm. Their marriage was far from ideal, but it was functional, and they dedicated themselves to creating a happy home for their kids. Outwardly, they looked like a united family, perhaps even happier than most. In the weeks following the end of their counseling, a warmth emerged in their relationship, and they began to heal. Kat's other friend was no longer mentioned. Rick chose not to bring up certain issues, finding peace in that decision. 7 years later, one evening, Rick received a call from his father, urgently asking him to come alone. Noticing the worry on his face, Kat asked, "Rick, Is everything okay? You're scaring me." "I don't know," he replied, frowning. "Dad just told me to come right away. It sounds like something might be wrong with Mom." "Wait, I'll go with you," Kat offered, her voice tinged with worry. She was genuinely attached to his parents, almost as if they were her own. "No," he replied gently but firmly. "He asked me to come alone." Kat hesitated but eventually nodded, visibly concerned. "All right. Just promise me you'll let me know as soon as you can." He nodded, assuring her that he would keep his word, and then headed to his childhood home. When he arrived, he found his parents in the living room, his mother, her face tear-streaked, and his father, visibly containing his anger. A feeling of unease settled in his stomach. Breaking the tense silence, his father was the first to speak. "Rick, I only found out about this yesterday. I am furious with your mother." Without saying another word, he left the room, leaving Rick stunned. Rick turned to his mother, struggling to keep his composure. "Mom, what's going on?" She took a deep, trembling breath. "Rick, I need to tell you something, and it's not going to be easy. I never wanted things to turn out like this. I only wanted to keep the family together. You know how much your kids mean to me." "Just say it, Mom." With a quivering voice, she confessed. "Years ago, I saw Kat with someone. They were leaving a hotel together. I was there to meet a friend for lunch when I saw them." "What?" he whispered, barely able to process the shock. "You saw this and never told me? How could you keep this from me?" Her eyes filled with regret. "The kids were so young, Rick. They needed you both. I thought it would be better this way." Her words trailed off as he fully grasped the depth of her betrayal. His own mother had hidden this from him. Without another word, he left. When he returned home, Kat was waiting for him, her face full of concern, and she asked what had happened. He simply said, "They were worried about how we'd manage the college expenses for all the kids. I assured them we'd be fine and they offered to help. They're just getting older and more anxious, I guess." Kat sighed in relief, nodding. "I'm glad they want to help, and I hope you told them not to worry so much." He nodded, then stepped out into the backyard, needing a moment to process everything. After that day, his relationship with his mother was never the same. They still met, usually with Kat and the kids present, but a distance had grown between them. His parents' marriage also began to strain. His father was so distraught he left for a month. Sadly, a year after that fateful visit, his father passed away, leaving Rick with the heavy realization that his father had left this world without healing from that pain. In the days following the funeral, Rick sank into a quiet sorrow, but Kat was there, offering him unwavering support. Her presence helped him find his way through the grief. Over time, he softened, torn between her genuine efforts to mend their marriage and his lingering doubts. As the years passed, their children gradually left for college. Amanda, their youngest, graduated early and was set to attend a state university. The years flew by, especially those busy school days, and he realized just how fast time had gone. Not long after, his mother also passed away, leaving Rick as the sole person responsible for managing her affairs. Handling her estate, he felt the full weight of this responsibility. He remembered the saying about only children. The benefit is there's no one to argue with over the inheritance, but the downside is that you have to handle everything alone. Ironically, his parents had left enough to cover his children's education, freeing them from debt. While sorting through her belongings, he found an envelope in her handwriting, addressed to him. "For Rick, after my passing," it read. The letter had been written just weeks before her death. He slipped it into his pocket, deciding to read it when he was ready. In the weeks that followed, Rick made a quiet decision. He would stay with Kat. The bitterness had long faded, leaving him only with the realization that his life had been good, maybe even better than most. Why disrupt this peace he'd finally found? He remembered watching his mother struggle with the weight of loneliness, and that fear lingered. What if he was destined for the same fate if he left Kat? Their younger daughter, Amanda, still lived at home, but she would soon leave, and he already felt the heaviness of her impending departure. Closing the letter and tucking it back in the drawer, Rick allowed the thought to drift from his mind for a few more weeks. But one day, as he rummaged through his desk, he stumbled upon that letter again. Succumbing to curiosity, he opened it and found its contents shocking and unsettling. Yet something held him back from fully believing it. When trust is broken, it becomes difficult to separate truth from deception. Was his mother really trying to reconnect? Or was she merely attempting to rewrite her own history? In the end, Rick decided to discard the letter, choosing to remain silent. Just a few months were left before Amanda turned 18 and went off to college. His thoughts of her influenced his decisions about the future, quietly guiding his plans. The day after she left, Rick turned to Kat and said, "Kat, I hired a lawyer. I'm filing for divorce." He continued, "You can sign the papers at her office or I'll bring them to you. This isn't about humiliating you, Kat. It's about finally moving forward." "Why?" she asked, stunned. "We had a good life together all these years." "Because I don't love you, Kat," he replied. "We agreed that I'd stay until Amanda turned 18. Her face twisted in pain. "You don't love me?" she whispered, shocked. "No, Kat," he said calmly. "And it didn't fade slowly. It ended the moment you threatened me. I'm simply following the choice we made years ago. Our lives will intersect for the children and any future grandchildren, and I'll be respectful. But as a couple, this is where we end." She looked at his face, her eyes welling with tears. "Rick, are you saying all these years meant nothing? That you stayed only for the kids?" "I know the difference between physical closeness and real love," he said with a hint of regret in his voice. "I was here with you, but my heart wasn't. I played a role, Kat. Do you understand?" Kat, now openly sobbing, could only shake her head, unable to speak. "Because I realized something a while back," Rick continued. "We live in a no-fault divorce state, Kat. You could have left at any time for any reason. Counseling, therapy, all of that didn't matter if you wanted out. I had no power in this relationship. I couldn't allow myself that kind of vulnerability, so I stayed for Amanda and played my part." "That's not true!" she cried, trembling. "I know you love me, Rick. I would never have betrayed you like that." Her voice shook, filled with emotion, as if she was beginning to grasp the consequences of her past actions. "Please, Rick," she whispered. "I need to tell you something. I haven't been with him for almost 10 months. Rick sighed. "Do you really think I'll believe that? It sounds desperate, even for you, Kat." "Rick, it's true," she insisted. "I cut things off with him completely. I knew you wouldn't believe me, so I never told you. After that conversation, he changed. He started mocking you, calling you weak, and even tried to convince me to sever all ties. He wanted total control." "Yes, Rick. I believed that the only way forward was to be the best mother and wife I could possibly be. I truly thought we had moved past it. I need you to know that." "You were an amazing mother, no doubt about it," Rick acknowledged. "No one could be better. I know you'll be a wonderful grandmother. I also recognize all your efforts to be a good wife. I understand that our relationship never fully healed after that incident, but I know you cared for me and tried. But for me, it never felt like more than a close friendship with intimacy added in. Kat, please stay. Don't leave me. I'm ready to do anything to make you stay. Please." Rick paused, his voice softer. "Then answer me this. A few years ago, I learned that it was my mother who first saw you with your lover." Kat's face showed surprise, but Rick continued. "Did you ever talk to her about it?" She hesitated, then replied, "No, darling, I didn't know your mother knew." "That's odd, Kat," Rick said, "because she told me the very day you confronted her. She said you threatened her, that if she revealed anything it would destroy our family. She even said you warned her she'd lose the chance to see her grandchildren if she exposed the truth." "I never said anything like that," Kat whispered. "I don't know, Kat. It sounds like something you might have said years ago. The problem is, I don't believe you anymore. There's nothing you could say that would change my mind. I need to start living for myself. I stayed all these years for the kids. Now it's my time. Goodbye, Kat." With that, Rick turned to leave. Kat fell to her knees, crying and begging him to stay, But he didn't look back. It was the last time he walked away. Soon after, his phone started ringing. Tearful, angry calls from each of his children, demanding to know why he had left. Before he explained, he asked each one the same question. Was I a good father? Their answers were immediate and confident. They had always felt his love and presence in their lives. Their words stirred something deep within him. Gathering his strength, he told them everything, including the role his mother had played in exposing the affair. He was honest, straightforward, without embellishment. He told them how he had once nearly left, how the anger and betrayal had almost driven him to abandon the family. The children listened and then thanked him for staying. They continued to maintain a relationship with their mother, though forever altered. Rick never spoke to Kat again. They didn't even meet at their children's weddings, as knowing the truth about their mother, they ended all contact with her. She was left alone, unwanted by anyone. She had led a double life, and now she remained completely isolated. This concludes the story. If you like it, then put your powerful like and subscribe to the channel.